All right, welcome everybody. I'm Ashley, your host, and this is the show called Life After an Ego Death. And my first guest ever is Darius Carter. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yay! Before we start, oh my gosh, I just want to say thank you for creating with me. Thank you for being honest and vulnerable and sharing your story with everyone. And yeah, I'll let you go ahead and talk about whatever you want to talk about throughout your spiritual journey.
Ooh, it's such a that's such a an open thing, right? This whole thing is
Yeah,
a
I'm just
spiritual journey.
gonna, yeah, I'm just gonna let people yap and see if they want to talk about currently what they're going on, what's going on right now,
Mm.
or from the very beginning, when they had their awakening and how their life has completely changed and kind of working through that now that you see everything in a different lens.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll say my entire life, even as a child, I always felt different than the normal person. I always felt like I thought differently. I used to see spirits and sense energies and see like angels and demons even as a small child. So,
Wow,
mm-hmm.
that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I love for you to go over what they look like to you, and I can go over what they look like to me.
Mm. Who first?
You first. You're the guest.
Okay. So, I had my first, like, I sensed angels and seen angels when I was really little. I would say probably like maybe nine, eight, nine.
Mm,
Um, I uh, I remember it vividly because I was at my childhood home, and I had got news that my grandfather on my father's side had died. And I was up in my room and I was looking at the ceiling, and then I saw a whole bunch of swirling um, beings just swirling around the center, the light in my room. And it was dark, it was completely dark, but they were like illuminated and glowing, and they were really flowy, and they were at the top of my ceiling just forming a pattern, and it was really interesting to see.
yeah, I would have been freaking out at that
Hmm.
age. Like, what am I looking at? Did you tell anyone about it, or did you just keep it to yourself?
I told my mother. My parents are generally very open about stuff. And my mother, I told my mother first, I believe, and just let her know, and she was pretty receptive of it. I don't remember it in huge detail how she responded, but it wasn't anything like punitive or anything like that. She was generally pretty open.
That's amazing. That's always great to hear that the parents believe you and that they're working with you and not against you. So that helps a
Hmm.
lot, kind of support you to keep, for it to keep happening.
Hmm.
Wow, that is so cool. So I've seen this when I was a child. I saw ghosts and got to communicate with them and talk with them. And just like you, my mother was, she didn't know until it just became a habitual thing where I'm like, hey, you're sitting in Emma's seat, like, get off, we're having a tea party. Or she'll see the swing moving right next to me. And then she started believing in ghosts. And then luckily, the ghost protected me when my parents got attacked. We lived next to cemeteries and stuff, so we kind of had that little problem. And
Mm.
then when I saw an angel, it was a light being. It was just a giant. It was probably just double the size of what a human was, and it looked just like a human body, but just illuminated, like you said, with the light. And it it was helping me move when I was older. And then when I saw a demon, it looked like a gargoyle. That's all I can kind of describe what it looked like to me.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it is cool to talk about this and have a space where we can just share all this stuff. It is so fun already, and we're only a few minutes in. So I'm excited to see what else you want to talk about.
And
Maybe
you were able to, sorry,
go ahead.
you were able to sense the energy behind these entities that you've seen as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what you feel. Well, that's what I felt first before I saw them. I felt the energy inside my body to know if it was, good or bad for me, if it was false light or, light or a trickster spirit or an angel or a demon. Just by seeing it and talking to it and the way it looks at me too, and the way it communicates with me too. It definitely, you can sense that it is benevolent or, malicious.
Mm-hmm. You had a strong sense of inner tuition, as I like to say, to judge the character of whatever entity you came across.
Yeah, it was actually one of my tests that I had to go through during I went through a lot of missions where I had to go down to the underworld and find my way back to, get my way through hell and find my way back to, I guess, heaven. And I was in charge of the gates. And so they put me at the gate, and I assume that this gate isn't the gate to heaven. It's the gate to my energy field, into my vessel. And so my test was to distinguish between false light, trickster spirits, and, God and angels of the Most High. And so there would be these energy beings, like these entities, I guess I would say, come up to me, and I would have like a pen and paper, like a pad. And I would be looking at them, and there would be a large crowd and so many of them that I had to go through. And I was going one by one. I'm like, should I allow you? Are you good or not? And then it got overwhelming, and I was just like, you know what? If I only want to talk to God, I only want to talk to the beings that work for the Most High, the Divine. And if you guys aren't it, get away from me. Like, leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with you. And they all were upset, and they just turned away and left. And then I started becoming more and more powerful in my spiritual ranking. So I think that was just the initial tests that I had to, missions I had to do. Little like dirty work, I guess, just grunt work, before I realized, my power, and then I never had to deal with any of that anymore.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was your test.
Yeah, and I think it was just like an astral travels, and that happens a lot for me. I get put down for naps, and I know that I'm being summoned, and so I definitely know we all are multidimensional beings, right? And so we are being spiritually attacked in other dimensions and stuff like that. So we're definitely doing a lot of work than just here on this earthly realm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is only one aspect of things. And there are a multitude of other things that we do. It's interesting, like you said, you lived around cemeteries as a child. So I actually lived on a very small cemetery as a child, where I had a lot of those experiences.
Oh my gosh. Okay, tell me.
So we literally had headstones in our yard. We would play on the headstone, and we thought nothing of it because we were children. I have siblings, but we were children, so we would just be willy-nilly just having fun around this stuff. But every time it got like dark at night, and I had to do things outside, and nobody else was around me, I will always feel like presences were watching me and observing me. And again, my mother especially, she was heavily into spirituality, so we kind of knew about angels and demons. And not saying that's all that's out there, but I could sense that the energy was wrong, that whatever was watching me didn't necessarily have my best interest. But it's kind of synchronistic that we both were in similar environments, experiencing interesting things like that.
Yeah, I was able to actually see them, and I'm really glad the one that took care of me protected me during the attacks, and I didn't get hurt, and I was spared. And so there's many times where I've been almost killed and protected in a way from the unseen. And there's a reason why I'm given so many chances to stay living here, and it just means my mission is a very big one. And so I can't be hurt or harmed. And yeah, and I'm being protected in so many forms that are just not, that you can't see, right, that are not human. So I thought, I mean, that was the start of my clairvoyance, right? And now I've harnessed those spiritual powers, so I'm clairaudient and, clear, clear smelling. I can smell and then feel all of those things. But yeah, it's really cool. My family wasn't very spiritual, but they did have, like, my dad's side, they do have the same type of gifts, but just didn't really activate more of them, or didn't really, I guess I really went into this spirituality very deeply. So.
That's very interesting.
What about your family? Are you the only one?
No. Sorry, No, I'm not. We all have different abilities. My ability is sensing, but also kind of connecting with others, bringing people together, helping people out of like situations that they think they can't get out of. It's more physical. Well, it is spiritual too. Everything has an element of spirituality to it. But I'm really good at inspiring people to think differently about their situations.
I love that. It's very true. It's good to be outside of the box, right? And I had a vision of me not being in a box. I was in an octahedron, and so there's way more, when you get through higher levels of awareness, you have that different perspective, right, that people need, and people will come to you for problem solving and critical thinking, and it is just so simple in our brain. I mean, I can think of a few situations where someone's like, well, I have this problem. I'm like, okay, here's the answer. Like, there you go. And they're like, poof, it's magic. And, but I guess, people are in the constructs of their mind and their limiting beliefs and, their karmic loops, their ancestral wounds, and, they've lived a life of just tolerating instead of a life of thriving. And we have to help them break free from the shackles and the prison that is their mind. And because we've been able to do that ourselves.
Yep. I dream very vividly. I won't say that I necessarily intentionally astral travel, but I am extremely powerful in my dreams, and I could conjure things up with my mind to a certain extent. I still have to cultivate it. I need to get on a better sleep schedule and things like that, but I really do. I work as an instructor. My current profession is a music lessons instructor,
Oh,
and
wow.
my hours are like midday, so from like 11 to like 9 p.m. So 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Mm.
I'm
Oh,
working
wow.
as an instructor on most days. So I my sleep
Wow.
patterns are not as as good as I want them to be. They're not what I want them to be.
And you
But
still made time for this, you know? And
mhm.
of course you're a teacher. Of course you are. And for music, which is, you know, food for the soul. So it's so aligned and that's really beautiful. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Let's see. I was about to say something.
I've
There's so
cut
many
you off a
experiences I've
lot.
had. It's okay. It's okay. It's like there's a saying like when you when you cut somebody off, you have something to say. You know, you have something that you wanted to get out right at that moment. Um, so it shows that you're attentive and engaged in the conversation and the interaction. But
Mhm.
I've had a number of experiences. The strongest happened when I was younger, but they still happen today, just in different forms. I sense more now than physically see because I believe I have to retune those abilities again. Um,
Mhm.
but right now, I think I'm meant not to see as much and to do things more physically for people
Mhm.
until I reach a certain point, which I think is coming up. But there's so many times when I was younger where, like we would have this punishment where we had to walk up and down the steps. And we had very steep steps. I don't know how we got up and down these steps without falling as children. It was crazy. Because they were, when I tell you they were steep, they were maybe like, I would say, no exaggeration, maybe like a foot high and
Oh, wow.
then maybe 6 inches um, uh, length.
Yeah, you had to
What
like
would I say?
hike up your knee all the way to your chest to
Yeah,
get up there.
to get up there as a little kid, and it was rug on the steps too. But we would walk up and
Oh.
down these steps numerous times as a punishment, and which was a cool punishment, honestly. We got a workout from it. However, um, when the steps were between the first floor of my house and then the second floor, which where our bedrooms were. Whenever we would get up, or whenever I would get up to the second floor landing, I would feel energies trying to pull me in either room on the side of the landing at the top of the stairs. And it
What?
felt like dark forces were trying to literally pull me into their realm
Hmm.
every single
Yeah.
time.
They say that doors, you know, into rooms, they're portals. And that's why people
Mm-hmm.
forget when they walk into another room what they were going to grab. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people are also portals too, you know, our aura that extends 15 feet, our consciousness. Anytime that you're around a person, you can also sense their energy and feel
Mm-hmm.
if it's, yeah,
Especially
maybe
women.
everything. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Women are even wider portals, or they can be. But by default, I think you all are wider portals, because you literally are the you bridge the gap between the life cycle and the death cycle
Mm-hmm.
um,
Right. Because we
of
have
us.
creation, we're able to create, and our womb is a portal too.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to one of my friend's place to pick her up, and she has like 17 dogs. And they always bark, of course, when somebody comes. And when I put my car outside her house, all the dogs were sleeping and quiet. And I text her, I'm like, I'm here, I'm waiting for you. And she's like, oh, normally they're uh, they're barking and they know that but they they felt my calm energy all the way from I don't know how far it was
Oh yeah.
from her driveway. through her house, through the other side. So
Mhm.
it is interesting. I don't know how big it could possibly get, but I'm noticing that it is starting to fill up rooms and spaces and entire homes based
Mhm.
on the people that are in the home and the animals and stuff. And I'm able to make sure that everybody is calm and nobody, like, especially since there's kids and babies around, like, none of them are crying. All of them are chill and sleepy and happy if I'm inside the home with them. So
Mhm.
that's pretty cool to, um, yeah, to learn and do just with your presence.
It is. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's necessary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Now,
it really is.
do you ever do you consciously feel your field?
Yeah, I do. It feels amazing.
Mm.
um, but yeah, of course, when I feel it all the time with when I'm by myself and when I'm alone. And also, if it depends on the people around me too, I try to
Mm.
shield myself and protect myself and make sure that nothing penetrates, no negativity, no one's negative thoughts or emotions can penetrate me. I make sure that
Mhm.
only positivity can penetrate my aura. So I have this shield of protection that I work on. I work on cleansing and purifying a lot.
Mm.
But for the most part, they will acclimate to me as like I'm a tuning for like a tuning fork, you know?
Mhm.
So they will shift for me. Like they will feel my energy first. And subconsciously, of course, like none of these people are awake, they're asleep. So they don't really know what is happening. They just feel calm.
Mhm.
They don't know that healing is taking place because I'm there. I mean, I know that, but
Mhm.
it's okay because they'll just say thank you and they'll just be like, wow, everything goes right when you're here. Like, oh, I'm so lucky. Or I don't know, they're just like, well, everything goes so smoothly, everything's so chill and relaxed. And they're like, oh, wow, it was a great day or whatever. And they're just like, when can I see you again? Like, when can you be here? And, they just kind of get they like the energy, they like the way it feels, right?
Mhm.
And even if they can't describe it, they don't really know, you know. Yeah, it just is, and that's okay. They don't have to know, right? Like I just know.
Mhm. Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's interesting thing. Um, you could be somewhere way across the room, and then somebody could know, right? That
Mm-hmm.
a certain presence is nearby and is kind of intermingling with their field and whatnot.
Yeah, the cool thing is some people do catch it pretty. Like when I'm traveling internationally, I don't share what I am or what I do or anything. But when I'm alone, people will come up to me and ask me to pray for them or like have a conversation with me. And I don't know, they see the divinity. I really think that they do see
Mhm.
something. To be able to feel comfortable and vulnerable and just, be able to just share and see what comes through. So that has happened a lot to me. And I think that's probably the coolest thing is that they don't even know what I do. And then
Mhm.
I tell them after the fact, and they're like, oh, no way. Like,
That's
yeah,
beautiful.
what about you? What do strangers think about you?
Oh yeah, like no matter where I go, I am able to walk out of that environment with somebody feeling like they have made a connection for the better.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
very rare that I enter an environment and don't make an effect on the people in that environment.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where I become like a go-to person, no matter what job I
Mm-hmm.
have, um, no matter if I'm going to a store or something like that, I'll be at stores and I'm not sure why this happens, but I'll be at stores and people will just ask me for help there. And I wouldn't have any attire on. They like, I would look like a regular person like them, like, hey, do you work here? Could you help me out with XYZ? And it's easy like to get like kind of put off by it, but I'm like, no, it's probably something about my energy that's given off the fact that I help people.
Oh, yeah. You probably have like a very safe and inviting and welcoming, energy. And also, you probably have a lot of authority, divine authority, right? So that makes people listen to you. That makes people notice you, right? Right when you walk in, you're clearing the space just with every step that you take, and you're brighter and lighter and you look very different,
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's one
good.
of the, yeah, that's a tangible thing. It's a tangible thing, and it's interesting observing it, if you can from a distance, or having other people say that about you, because as somebody who occupies your own body, right, you don't necessarily see what other people see
Oh,
and
yeah,
see how they perceive.
that's true. We're constantly being perceived, and it's so beautiful to have reflections and mirrors and projections that all those people can tell us what it feels like to be with us. And sometimes it's sweet, and sometimes it's not. Just
Hmm.
depends. But something really, really cool also is that people think that you look younger than what you really are because of how much healing and, all the spirituality that you've worked on too. And that's
Hmm.
nice.
Yes. Yes. Yep. I'll get that.
Yeah. Well, we are hitting our closing time already. Do
Hmm.
you have any final thoughts, any last things to share with the audience, the world, before we
There
close
are so
out?
many things I can talk about. I'm like and what would they call it? An abyss, a good abyss, right? For real. I can talk about so many different things. So in the future, I'm more than happy to have another one of these if you be so welcoming. But this has been a great experience.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to have you come back. It's been beautiful to connect and share our similarities on our path. I feel like, I don't know, it was just very nourishing and I feel very fed. And so I'm really glad that this was just perfect. So thank you so much for being my first guest ever. And
Hmm.
I will have you back whenever you want, and we can
Mm,
keep talking and you can share more stuff. But I think this is short and sweet and enough to reel everybody in for some more. Let them wanting more, craving more.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, bye.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.